About 15 years old, I started racing motorcycles, motocross, and that's when I knew what I was here for.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was everything to me. It's the only thing I really loved doing. That went well, and wound up winning 3 pro championships in Southern California, which was the place to be, and everything was looking really good, but I started getting injured. First my shoulder, then the other shoulder, then the one knee, and then the other knee, and by then I was done. My dream was gone. I went from being hopeful to be world champion to knowing I never would be. I went from winning races to struggling to finish 5th. I believed in God, but I didn't have a relationship with God, and so I didn't have any kind of strength to fall back onto. It was just me on my own strength. I was angry, you know, what had happened to me. My dream had been taken away, and I was angry at God, my limited understanding of God. And I was angry just about anything I could be angry, and I never even looked at myself. I would just always, you know, point my finger. And so I started using first alcohol, then went on to drugs, and then went on to getting in trouble. I was out drinking and snorting cocaine, and I'd buy a little extra and sell it to my friends so I would have enough for myself. And I met a guy through that period who was a stuntman, worked on Dukes of Hazzard, and he said, if you teach me how to ride a motocross bike, I'll get you in the stunt business. I said, great. So I started doing that, and that worked out really well. I doubled Sylvester Stallone in First Blood in the motorcycle chase through the streets. It was exciting, but you know, there was something missing inside of me. I always thought if I won enough races and, you know, I would feel good inside, and that never really satisfied me. I always thought, you know, I remember, never forget the first time I won a championship. I thought this would feel like mean more or something. It was a great accomplishment, don't get me wrong, but inside I just thought it was going to make that hole in my heart filled, and it didn't. Probably the biggest stunt I ever did was what we call a cable off, and I was on the A-Team television show. The stunt was I ride my motorcycle into the back of a car, and in that trunk there's a big metal pod, has dynamite, gasoline, and naphthalene, all very flammable substances. And when I hit, at the same time I hit, there's cables to the front wheel of my motorcycle that snatches the bike out, and then I fly over and they hit the bomb, it blows off, and I come out on front of the car with my legs on fire. No helmet. I have a feeling I'm going to have a little conversation with God when I see him, and he's going to say, oh yeah, about that day I had to send, you know, a couple angels to keep you from killing yourself. When I'm at the height of my success, I'm looking around, I'm living in a beautiful home and all these nice toys, and I was married, beautiful wife, and I didn't like her, I didn't like all those toys, I didn't like even being alive, and I couldn't even figure out why I was alive. And at that moment, I hadn't been doing any drugs, but I had been drinking more and more and more. And I went and saw a friend of mine, and he had a crack cocaine problem, like unbelievable, messed up. And I told him, I said, why are you smoking this stuff? We know what a loser drug it is. Look what it's doing to you. And you're gonna lose your house, you're gonna lose everything. And he told me why he was doing it and why he hated life. And I went, you know what, you're right, give me the pipe. And I started smoking crack with him, even though I knew what it would do. That's how down and out I already was. And then it just got worse from there. I lost everything. Wife divorced me. I lost my 2 NASCAR race cars, everything. You know, my boat, my truck, everything, my house, and I had nothing. And I went for 10 years like that, met a girl, and we started having babies and trying to quit this drug, but neither one of us could. We'd always egg each other on to do it, and it was just a horrible life. And so we're stuck in that for 10 years. It was pretty bad. You know, we would move from town or state to state, really, because, you know, you start getting in trouble because you're always buying and selling this stuff to pay for your habit. Through that time, we had 5 children. Unfortunately, when we were in In Maui, we had our fourth child, and when he was 6 days old, my wife accidentally suffocated him. And I'll tell you what, I've had some bad things happen in my life, but that one ruined us. And her mom had our children taken away from us. We were just messed up. It was a horrible life, and all we did is we got high and or slept every once in a while, but we didn't sleep that much. We were mostly just running around trying to get high, smoking crack. And so me and this girl are riding down the road. She's driving, and this was amazing because we were really low on gas. We had to go to the gas station. There's not a lot of them. We had to go to this one that was coming up in about a mile. And all of a sudden, it's like I'm watching TV in my head, and I'm seeing a perfect vision of me getting arrested there. Seeing the cars, me handcuffed, everything. So we go to this gas station, pull up at the pumps, get out, I open the door, and the very first car that went by on the highway was a sheriff. And he looked me dead in the eyes, just like this, on the highway. And I swear it was just like God said, there he is, go get him. He pulls in, and I get arrested, and I'm sitting there handcuffed, and man, there's so many cops. They're just coming in like I'm the #1 criminal in the world, and I'm looking around going, wow, this is amazing. This is exactly what you showed me, God. And you know, something strange happened at that point. I said, you know, I always believed in you, but I never thought you were this personal. It really surprised me. So I went into the jail, same jail where my wife was. She's my ex-wife now. I just started reading the Bible. Reading the Bible. I'm like, what? That can't be right, because I never read a Bible, and I thought people who did were messed up, you know. And during that time, my lawyer kept coming and saying, hey, he goes, man, I don't understand. Same exact words every time. I don't understand it. They won't make a deal on you. They're going for 100 years. They're going to make a poster child out of you. Why you don't come to Montana and sell meth. But God was working in me. I think I needed to quit pointing the finger at everything. You know, my dad, God, you know, life circumstances. I was angry at everybody and blaming everybody. And I finally said, you know, God just revealed that to me. And I said, you know what? All right, I'm going to quit doing that. I'm going to take responsibility for what I did, and I'm going to quit concentrating on what everybody else did, quit blaming everybody else, and you just tell me what to do. And I remember looking around at these gray walls and thinking, wow, I might be in prison the rest of my life, but I'm finally free. How crazy is that? You know, the very next time I saw my lawyer, same exact words, he goes, I can't believe it. I don't know what's going on. But they've completely changed their tune on you, and they're talking way better deal, more like 20 years with 10 suspended. You could be out in a couple of years. And I said, I know what's going on, that's God. And I'm all excited, you know, born again and just in the spirit. And he's looking at me like, yeah, whatever. And I go, no, I'm telling you, it's God. He goes, okay, well, great. You know, you want the deal? And I said, yeah. So I got that deal. I was only actually behind bars for about 1.5 years, and then another year in a halfway house. I'm so strong now in Christ, and you know, I'm just really excited about being alive for the first time in my life, really. And then I got a phone call from my brother. Now my brother had meanwhile become one of the biggest stunt coordinators in Hollywood, and he wouldn't talk to me for years because of my drug addiction. And he just gave up on me because it was just so frustrating. And so he says, I'm starting Iron Man 2. If you can come and work on it. And I said, well, let me ask my probation officer. You know, it's really amazing. The old me would have been so excited. Oh man, I'm gonna work on this movie. This is gonna be so awesome. But the new me, I said, well, Lord, if this is good, this is what, if it's okay, then make my probation officer say yes. And if it's not what you want for me, and if it's not good, then have him say no, and I'll know. And I went and told my probation officer, and he's like doing backflips. He's so excited. He just thinks that's the coolest thing ever. He loves movies and stunts. And so I go, and I just kept going. And Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, Iron Man 3, Cowboys and Aliens, The Lone Ranger. I go and speak to people struggling with drug addiction a lot, and they're always pretty excited about, you know, they'll introduce me and say, and he's working on this movie, you know, remember coming off of Captain America 2, I didn't mention that one, and you know, they were all excited about that. And I remember saying, you know, don't get me wrong, it's an exciting business, it's really good, but it's really a job, you know, they pay you, you go there and they pay you, and it's not something that I would go do if I wasn't getting paid, you know. But I'm coming to speak to you guys tonight because this is way more exciting to me to share with you what God has done in my life. It's the most exciting thing, and I see that for each and every one of you, that He has a plan for you, and you're all very valuable. You have a story, and you can be used by God to help others. And I'm telling you, it's better than any movie, any stunt, anything. It's the ultimate. Working for the creator of the universe. Are you kidding me? I got goosebumps all over my body just telling you. And it's the most amazing life, being born again, and knowing you'll spend eternity with God in paradise. So that's pretty amazing. Way better than doing stunts.